Yes, good morning students. In the previous video we have studied about the biotic component of the habitat, and today we will come read about the abiotic component. As we have discussed earlier, all known living things are known as abiotic component of the environment, such as soil, water bodies, atmosphere, meteorological factors such as sunlight, temperature, you can say, rainfall, you can say, wind speed, all are abiotic components. Abiotic components are also called non-living component. Understand, beta? Now, non-living things like rocks, soil, air, sunlight, water, temperature. Today we will discuss about these. First component, abiotic component is soil. Beta, what do you know about soil? First you think, you observe soil. You have already studied. What is this soil? Which layer of the earth is this soil? Which layer? Topmost layer. So, very easy. It is the topmost layer of the earth crust. How it is formed? Who will tell to me? How soil is formed? Soil is formed by the weathering of rocks. Now you will say, what do you mean by weathering? Because soil is formed. You have seen many climatic changes are there. Sometimes heat is there, hot season is there, sometimes winter season is there. So what happen in the winter season? The water fill in the cracks of the soil. You have seen there are some cracks in between the rocks. The water fill, and when temperature falls down, this water change into ice, and then when water change into ice, then what will happen? Ice will put pressure on the rocks, because ice uh, takes more space, and then it exerts pressure on the rocks. In this way, what happen? Soil rocks slowly break down, slowly, and then again small pieces will again break down into small pieces, then further break down into small pieces, ultimately. But it is a very slow process. Slowly weathering of rocks takes place. Understand, beta? It provides water, mineral, and air to the growing plants. Soil provides water. You give water to plants in the soil. It means plant will take water from the soil, mineral also, and air from the atmosphere, because it needs air to grow. In the absence of soil, what will happen? If there will be no soil, then beta, you think what will happen? And then write on your notebook what will happen if there will be no soil. It means there will be no plants. If there are no plants, then what will happen? From where we will get fruits, vegetable, food, medicines, wood, so many things which we are getting from the plants. Then from where do we get these things? It means if there is no soil, then no plants. When there will be no plants, then we will not get food to eat, we will not get medicines, we will not get wood to burn, we will not get clothes, because cotton plants, because plants give us clothes. So in this way, if there will be no soil, then there will be no life, you can say. Then sunlight. Plants need sunlight to grow, prepare their own food. If there will be no sunlight, then plants can't prepare their food. You know very well, because sunlight is very much essential component which is needed to make food. Without sunlight, plants can't prepare their own food. So what will happen if plants will not prepare their own food? Then, because all other organisms either depend directly or indirectly on plants for food, and sunlight helps in keeping animal warm, and even sunlight maintain our body temperature also. So there are many uses of sunlight. Without sunlight we can't live. Then next abiotic component means non-living component, that is air. Because air provide us oxygen, and we also breathe out carbon dioxide also in the air which is present in the atmosphere. So air provide oxygen and carbon dioxide both in the air, both are present, and they both are very much essential for the survival of living things. Plants need which gas? Plants need carbon dioxide for making food, and plant release oxygen which is essential for our respiration. In this way there is a balance between the carbon dioxide and oxygen in the atmosphere. Then carbon dioxide is also released during respiration, which is used by the plants for photosynthesis. In this way, there is a balance of oxygen and carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. What will happen if we will cut the plants? If we will cut more plants, then disturbance of this balance of oxygen and carbon dioxide will take place in the atmosphere. Then next component is water. Water is very much essential for living things. In our body, water maintain our body temperature, water transport nutrients from one place to another. Even you see blood, in the blood also the main component is water. So in our body also water play an important role. And in outside activity, if we will see, then plant use water during the photosynthesis, and then without water so many problems will arise. Even life can't be possible without water. Human beings and animals need water for carrying most of their body functions. And you have seen in the water, there are too many animals which live in water. Because why they live in water? Due to the presence of oxygen which is present in the water. So these aquatic animals take oxygen from the water, and that is why they survive in the water. Oxygen and carbon dioxide gases dissolved in water help water organism to survive. In this way, they survive due to the presence of oxygen which is dissolved in the water. So next component, abiotic component, is temperature. Temperature means hotness, or you can say coldness. It means the measure of how hot or cold something is called temperature. How you can define temperature? The measure of how hot or cold something is called temperature. But on which planet there is a suitable temperature? On Earth. That is why on the Earth life is possible, because Earth is the only planet in the solar system that has a suitable temperature for life to exist. However, we see that temperature on Earth is not same at all places. If we will see the places near the polar region, on the poles you can see, then they are very much cold. And whereas the places near the equator, they are hot. Temperature also affect the population of plants and animals in different habitats. If we will see the population of the animals and plants where suitable temperature is there, only their population of plants and animal occur. If there is too much hot, their animals and plants population is very much less. So animals such as mammals, because there are some animals whose internal body temperature remain constant, it will not vary whether the outside temperature goes on increase, goes on decreasing, but their internal body temperature remain constant. They are known as warm blooded animal. Can you give me some example of warm blooded animal? Human being, you can see yourself, our body temperature can't decrease or increase according to the outside temperature. If outside temperature is more, then our body temperature remain constant. Only when we are suffering from fever, you can say, only then our temperature varies. Otherwise our body temperature remain constant, whether outside temperature varies. So we are known as warm blooded animals. Opposite of this, whereas some animal whose body temperature fluctuate to maintain the outside temperature are called cold blooded animals, means their internal body temperature change according to the outside temperature. They are known as cold blooded animal. Can you give me some example? Cold blooded animals, you see reptiles, fish, their body temperature fluctuate. Warm blooded animals maintain body heat. How they maintain their body heat? Can you tell me? Warm blooded animals maintain body heat by the food they eat, whereas cold blooded animals gain most of their body heat from the sun. They take body heat from the sun, and we take heat from the food. Okay, biotic and abiotic, beta, both the component has close relationship. In this diagram you can see how both are interdependent on each other. Air is required by living organism to survive. In this diagram you are watching, then sunlight is utilized by all living organisms. Cow require water to quench thirst. In this diagram it has been shown there is interaction between biotic and abiotic component, means between living and non-living component. So today we have finished our this chapter number 7. So you have to read this chapter twice or thrice, and then you have to prepare notes, and then it is very much easy for you to understand. Only once reading is beta not sufficient. You have to read at least this chapter twice or thrice. Then I will give you the PDF of the question answers and exercise also. This exercise you have to fill in the book with the help of, you can say, blue ball pen, and then you have to write down all the question answers in a very good hand on the fair notebook. Okay, that's all from my side, beta. Thank you.